Hey everybody, welcome back to another RSG Lunch Stream. I'm Ranger J 1999, your host and part of the RSG crew. Glad to have everybody here. Hope everybody's having a good Thursday, wherever you are listening to this live or listening to us later on, either on iTunes or YouTube. Glad to have everybody here. Hoping it's having a good day. If you are new to the lunch stream and wondering what this is, well, this is where we hang out with you good folks for the next hour or so and bring you some entertainment. To kind of break up the doldrums of your day, you can listen to this at your lunch, sitting at your desk, whatever you like, whatever makes you happy. That's what we're here for. And what we do here is we will do a roster review. We'll answer your questions. We'll let chaos ensue. So if you do have a question, go ahead and get that in. Make sure you put the term question in front of your statement. It just helps us scoop that up, and we will get that scooped up. Also, if you haven't already, stop what you're doing. Go to hit that thumbs up. It really does help the channel. Helps get the video out to the YouTube community. If you haven't subscribed already and you love listening to the content, why not you just hit the subscribe button? We stream live a lot. We stream live a ton, and if you'd like to know when we're streaming any of the different games that we're doing, including Galaxy Heroes, why not do that? If you haven't checked out our Patreon, please do. I'd like to thank all the Patreon supporters that are out there and those that have contributed to keep us rocking and rolling. It does keep us putting out the content that you enjoy. If you haven't already, check out our GoFundMe. We are planning to do the half marathon at Disney World to raise money for the American Cancer Society. So check that out as well. If you'd like to sponsor us in our endeavors to raise money for that charity, please let us know. All right. That being said, let's introduce everybody first. We'll introduce Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman, the Troll Extraordinaire. Dr. Finn, are you there?
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Fined for what?
For missing today, too, since I'm missing tomorrow.
Yeah, you're such a butthole. So, if you guys don't know, Finn's going to Orlando to go hook up with Miss McVenom's husband. Because...
Just a little.
And
she's fully aware.
Yeah,
and she's given the blessing.
Yeah, that's fine. Just leaving Ranger to hold the bag, doing everything. So that sucks.
That's correct.
Yeah. Finn's
and McVenom is given the blessing on that too.
No, that sucks. Also here, scooping up your questions is the Solus one, Mr. Gingivitis himself, Stanley Red.
Hey, good to be here. You were breaking in and out just like you do on the Wednesday night streams.
Didn't know where I was breaking up.
Yep.
At the beginning.
Well, it happens. Also joining us from across the pond in jolly old England is the one and only Mike.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's better that you end up holding the bag than Finn tomorrow.
Yeah. It's a dick move. So that being said, so go ahead and get your questions in. Stanley, are you scooping those up, Mr. Gingivitis?
Yeah.
All right. Ginger Snaps himself is scooping those questions up for everybody, and we'll get to those after our roster review. And we have a roster review today like we do every day. And today we are doing Banis Duron's profile, and they are in Dark Lords. So, Banis Duron...
Big Mac. He goes by Big Mac on Discord.
Well, that makes sense that his name is Banis Duron, and in Discord he's Big Mac.
Mm-hmm.
Confused. But we like to be called what we like to be called. So that means...
Isn't that right, Big Deal?
Oh, we have the Big Deal Grande Patron here? Oh, Pool Boy.
Yes, he's in my guild. The big deal has a guy named Big Mac in his guild. Can you believe that?
2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, lettuce on a sesame seed bun. There you go.
So that's kind of a big deal too. Yeah. So anyway, so I can look up this profile the easy way in the guild management.
There you go.
Awful.
And we will do it the old-fashioned way by just looking at his regular old GG profile. That being said, Dr. Finn, what's the first thing we're looking at today with Mr. Duron's profile?
Okay, so the first thing is his arena. Let's just start there, because he has a few things he wants us to go over, so let's start with arena.
Well, first of all, let's get old Han Sully out of there. I mean...
It's reasonable if you're facing the opposing Vader squads and stuff, right?
Yeah, but on defense, no. Because Han shoots
yeah, not for
the wrong,
defense.
and then he's worthless. I don't know who we can run. If somebody wants to look at his mods, I'm going to look at his other Sith and characters to see who we can put in here. Because I'm fine with Palpatine, I'm fine with Sion, Thrawn, Nihilus. Great. Good job on getting those 12.
So
12
let me ask a Big Deal here, because Big Deal probably knows. So since he's in your Dark Wars, I'm assuming he's on his way to Traya.
Yeah, he's farming Traya. He just hadn't been with us very long.
Right.
So, he's I'm going to make a guess he's probably 2 or 3 or 4 months away from getting Traya unlocked.
Oh, months. Okay.
He got here maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe.
Gotcha.
And before this, he was not farming Traya at all. So he's maybe got 40 shards, 50 shards over at this point, something like that.
Okay. So arena team wise, he really only has one real option. I hate to say it, his characters, at the high end are somewhat limited.
Yeah.
And Ranger, do you see anything else besides just Emperor Palpatine, Vader, Nihilus, Thrawn, Sion?
No. Let's look at his nest, but let's see.
I'm just not seeing the depth of characters.
Look, he kind of used to run a JTR team, right? And he kind of used to run a Night Sister team.
Sure.
So, but besides that, you're absolutely right.
He's got a 4-star Memphis, but no gear or nothing else on its gear 1 level 1.
A lot of his characters are just lacking gear, because then he would have
a lot of his characters are gear 1 level 1. He kind of, in the beginning, he kind of took all the characters up, and then we kind of told him that because he's low spend, free to play, that he needed to spend more time, take a piece up with a purpose, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where he's at in his roster, is take a piece up with a purpose. So if you're going to take something up, know why you're doing it, and let's take it all the way up.
Yeah.
And if you don't, we could just let's camp it out, because I don't want you to spend resources that you don't have.
That's right.
So we told him, save 2 Zetas and save gear for Traya, and then in the meantime, and the reason why he's running the team he's running is because we told him that team would work for climbing, right? And
for climbing on defense, he's gonna have to put his Vader in.
The other option we said was put Vader in on defense.
Yeah, leaving Han Solo in there you're just begging to get smoked. So I think if you want to use that team for climbing, that's fine. However, you've got to add Vader on that for defense, because the AI just does not use Han right.
He's in the chat. Okay. So he's Tim Van Ness in the chat. So question for you, since he's in the chat, what are you facing in Arena? Are you facing a lot of Treyas in Arena? Are you facing Emperor Palpatine teams? What are you facing primarily? Because you do have some potential options even with the characters you have. So if you're facing Emperor Palpatine teams and you're trying to figure out something you can do, you can run a CLS lead. And you can go CLS, Han, R2, Thrawn, and Nihilus, and that works on offense. Against Emperor Palpatine teams actually fairly well. The other thing is, if you're facing Traya teams, Vader makes it a little bit of an RNG. The question is, how fast is your Thrawn compared to your Arena? And if you get your Thrawn really, really fast, there is another potential solution, but again, it's all RNG based, and that is, instead of Vader, you use Death Trooper. And with Death Trooper, you do his AoE first, and you reduce the cooldowns on everyone, and you have to try and take somebody out really, really quickly, preferably Traya. So you have a couple of smaller options depending on who you're facing, but he's saying he's facing very little Traya. He sees a lot of JTR teams. Oh, if you're saying JTR teams, then Night Sisters.
Yeah, his Night Sister, Asajj is 12, Mother Tezzin's 12, Doc is 10, Night Sister Zombie 6-star 9. I mean, the other Night Sisters need some work. No Zetas on any of the characters.
Does he not have Kenobi?
Kenobi.
Ooh, your Kenobi is gear 8. Work on your General Kenobi now.
He's
Now.
Mr. Beardy's 6-star at the moment.
Yeah. 6-star gear 8. You can do 6-star gear 11. That's fine. But get your Kenobi up, because if you're facing Palpatine teams, CLS, Han, R2, Thrawn, General Kenobi. There's your team. If you're facing Jedi training raid teams, Mother Talzin, Asajj, Daka, Zombie, General Kenobi. There you go. You don't even need any of the Zetas. The Zetas are nice additions to the Night Sisters, but you don't need them. And yeah, get your Kenobi up ASAP. I think I don't know, Grande, if you feel any different, but I would say that's his priority character right now.
Nah, I mean, Night Sisters are going to totally help him out, right? They're going to help him
Kenobi.
out. Kenobi? Yeah, Kenobi helps him out in the raid. Kenobi helps him out in TW. Kenobi helps him out in the arena. Absolutely, Kenobi. I mean, Kenobi is easily the most versatile tank and is arguably one of the top 2 tanks in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Agreed.
most people either put him number 1 tank or number 2 tank on their list. I've never seen him out of the top 3 on tanks that anybody ever talks about. And the thing that's nice about this game is tanks are versatile, which means you could actually put Kenobi on his arena team all the time, even under Palp lead. He could put Kenobi in. He could swap Kenobi in and out for that OG Han spot, right? Mm-hmm. And use Kenobi as his tank until his Scion gets going. He could also put the Kenobi on a CLS team. He could even use Kenobi on a Night Sister team as his 5th Night Sister. As strange as that may sound. So, plus GK lead is great. GK lead is great for P2 of the Sith raid. So yeah, I think having Kenobi well geared up helps him in pretty much every game mode, except ships. That's the only one it doesn't really help you out in. But besides,
he's there in spirit.
He's there in spirit.
I mean, I think a character you might want to look to invest in is Emphas Ness. You've got her 4 stars. Her gear's not that bad. Get a Zeta on her. You could throw that in your arena team. Will make a huge difference. You got to get her fast as not, but you can do it. I mean, that's a character you may want to invest gear and time in. I mean, so I'm looking at his whole roster. I'm looking at all his different characters. I don't know what he's farming specifically, but there's a lot of characters and stuff where there's pieces, but they're not all done. You know, either by stars or gear. So I think the first thing you should probably do is focus on your Night Sisters, getting the Zetas, getting the gear on them. I think Kenobi is another one you need to gear up. I would recommend Emphas because I think she's just disgusting. I mean, going through the rest of his roster, I mean, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of stuff that's done, but then it's like, you know, it's stuff that needs a little bit more work. And
I'm eyeballing his mods right now. He can gain 10... No, more than 10. He can gain... 10 there. And then he can gain another 6... 5 there. You can get another 15 speed on your Thrawn just while I'm eyeballing this. It looks like a lot of the mods you may have sliced, and that's why they're not optimized. Your Thrawn is at plus 117, which isn't bad, but you can easily get him another 15 speed. So basically, you have a square on Nihilus that has 18 speed instead of the 8 that you have currently on Thrawn. You switch the diamond on Thrawn from a health set to a speed set that you have on Han Solo right now.
There you go.
Because Han Solo has a speed set. And that keeps your speed the same, but that allows you to then increase the speed on your triangle with the one that you have on Scavenger Ray that would then add another 5 speed. So those 3 mod changes alone, and I think that optimizes it, because you haven't done a bad job with optimizing, but those 3 changes alone will increase your Thrawn speed by 15. And that'll make his speed set plus 132, which makes your Thrawn much more formidable and usable against Traya teams, because you do need to make sure you have a fast Thrawn and a fast Vader if you do that.
All right, so that's what else we need to look at here, Dr. Finn.
Okay, so we looked at arena. Next is ship's arena. He wants to know which he should Zeta and which he should do the ship reinforcements. So I don't know if he's talking about... Okay, I'm going to assume, unless he says otherwise, that he means Omega and not Zeta.
Yeah.
Because if you're asking about Zetaing pilots, unfortunately you're not in a position where you should really be Zetaing for pilots.
He's done a really good job with the ships. In fact, he's done a fantastic job with your ships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You built all the strong ones pretty well here. So you're kind of at the next stage where you need to focus on particular ships that will give you a little bit better.
I'd potentially work on Bosk and Houndstooth.
Mm-hmm.
He's got it at 4-star level 1. He's got Bosk at 85. He's only got Bosk at gear 5. So I understand why he left it where he left it. But it is a taunter, it is a tank, and it does put on an ability that most other ships don't. So it is one that you might want to think about, and it's viable in some areas at 4-star.
Another one potentially is Sunfac as well. Sunfac is a really good tank overall in the game. So he's not like the other Geos that are pretty useless. I find a lot of uses for Sunfac still because he's really tanky.
Sunfac is useful.
Yeah, and his ship, the good ability, his special ability that does stun, you really need to get Geonosian or Sunfac up in gear because it's the crew ability, and the final level makes it so that his stun can't be resisted, which is huge in ships. So if you're looking for different things to Omega and whatnot, work on your Sunfac, and that would be another one potentially to Omega once you have your Sunfac of the right gear. The ones below it where it's just adding damage and stuff is nice, but it's the stun that's the critical thing because he's a tank ship, so you don't worry too much about the damage with him. If you can get it, great, but that's not the primary focus. And similarly, his reinforcement is good because he comes off the bench and stuns. So if you're looking for a reinforcement ability to work on, there you go. And that one really doesn't need all the reinforcement materials, only if you want to. It removes turn meter off of enemies, which is a really nice addition to Sunfac, who just comes in and stuns anyway. So there's one to consider for you moving forward if you want to work on a ship.
Nobody's running. I'm assuming Chimera is as high as capital ship.
Yeah, looks like Chimera, Biggs, TIE Advanced. Probably no, he might be running First Order. No, he's probably running Imperial TIE.
You
I'm guessing.
Get that TIE silencer up there, homie. You got a decent Kylo. You can get that ship to 85, man. It's already 7 stars, so that could really help your lineup in some form or capacity.
And if you're having any difficulty in fleet battles on the table, work on your Plo Koon ship.
Yeah. Plo Koon is the MVP. I keep saying it. I mean it. It's true. Plo Koon will help you in so many ways. People got to also understand your ships have to be a certain level and stuff. I mean, you can't go in there with underpowered ships to beat some of these battles because you're just going to get wrecked. Because they hit so freaking hard. And I'm talking about the hard battles. I mean, normal 5e alone, that's pretty gross. But the ship hard node table, it's basically a gut check on your gear and on your star levels of your characters and stuff like that. Goodness. But yeah, your lineup looks really solid. You got some good working pieces. Some you need to level and stuff like that. But I think you look good here, homie. Big Mac
Get
attack.
that 4-dot circle off of Biggs. Just throwing that out there. Get that 4-dot circle off of Biggs.
Yeah, let's get 5 dots on all your crew. Just spend a day, whenever you have a moment, go to even if you have their gray mods for your crew members, put 5-dot mods on all your crew members. Especially since, with territory wars and things of that nature, you want to have 5-dot mods for your one for territory wars is regular battles, but that's a whole different subject. But at least for your ships, You know, you don't want to gimp yourself in any capacity because you're running 4-star, 4-dot mods on anything. So let's kind of get that equalized and taken care of. All right, so let's look at his ships. You're doing a real good job. I like your I like the farming that you've done. It's got to get him to 85 now, so you have more options. And I know getting credits is a pain in the ass. Trust me, I understand. All right, what's next there, Dr. Finn?
So the next thing is that he said he has 6, almost 7 Zetas. So where should he put his Zetas?
Oh, dang.
He has how many
So-
Zetas?
Almost 7.
6, almost 7.
Almost 7 Zetas?
You know what I want to say to that? He is smart.
He is smart.
Because he doesn't have any. His biggest problem is gear. There's no point in putting Zetas on characters that don't have the gear because it's going to be completely useless.
So I
it's
would probably
really
put one. I would probably put one on Ray's leader.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And then we've got Night Sisters. So let's just look at characters that are gear 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking we start there with characters that are gear
Asajj
12.
Ventress.
Asajj Ventress. No, I think we do Asajj's lead
Both.
ability probably first, and then we look at her unique. It's not quite as needed. He's also not running mods on some of his characters. Like Asajj doesn't have mods right now, so we probably need to do a little bit of mod farming so that we don't have to swap mods quite so much. I mean, I can tell.
How can you be in a Guild Grande and not have mods?
Well, I'm just looking at. I mean, it looks
Bad Big Mac. Bad Big Mac.
It looks like we're just switching. We're switching some mods around sometimes.
You have been demoted to Whopper.
No, he's not.
One more violation and you will be a Whopper Junior.
Mm-hmm.
One more violation and you might be a quarter pounder with cheese.
There you go.
No, but I'm just kind of looking and seeing here. Unless he might be using his mod sets.
I think they
swapping
are
them
because his
around
Mother
during the
Thousand
raid.
doesn't have mods either. So I think he might have shifted his mods off of his Night Sisters for something.
He might be.
else.
So he might. I don't really know what his game flow looks like. He might be using mods sometimes, and then using the mod loadouts to swap them around for different phases of the raid. I can't remember. But those would probably be 3 characters I would look at right away. Is Asajj Ventress and JTR lead. And besides that, I might hold him.
He's got a 7-star Hermit Yoda. It needs gearing, but he has got a 7-star Hermit Yoda.
He's
I
got a
would
lot of
say
characters like that.
earmark 1 for Hermit because you want the Zeta on Hermit.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. It's just. I mean, there's a lot of characters that are 7-star, but they don't have the gear that warrants a Zeta.
True.
I mean, if he has the gear, I mean, if he had the gear to get Hermit Yoda maybe to gear 10, Hermit Yoda does almost everything he does at gear 10, right? And so if we look at Hermit Yoda, and we were able to get Hermit Yoda to gear 10, then we have to decide which Zeta are we doing, and the Zeta that I think we're doing the do or do not Zeta, right? That's the one.
No, Strength Flows. The one that has protection on the heel.
That one.
Yeah, Strength Flows.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that Hermit Yoda's a character that he really, in my opinion anyway, is a character that's worthy of gearing. I mean, he's going to work so many different places. So, 2 for Treya, 1 for Hermit. He's down to 4 Zetas now.
Then we have Jedi Training Rate lead and double on Asajj, and that.
There you go.
Right.
So he's got 1 left.
And maybe he saves that
And then
one.
save it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't see any other squads that are really worth putting a Zeta on right now.
Yeah, he can focus on Night Sisters. 1 on JTR, so working on the Night Sisters, save a couple Zetas,
For Treya, and then we're saving
Hermit Yoda.
And then Hermit Yoda.
I mean, he could go 1 JTR, 1 Hermit Yoda, 1 on Asajj, Mother Talzin's unique. Hell, he could even do the other one on Asajj. That's 5. He still has 1 in the bank and 1 that he's almost getting ready to do it against. So that still leaves him 2. So you could do those 5 Zetas right now and then be ready to rock and roll.
And if you're really committed to the Night Sisters, then Mother Talzin Unique is another potential.
Gives him a good spread, just looking at what he's already got.
Yeah, and we've spent 3 of his Zetas on characters that he's already got at Gear 12.
Yeah.
That's another. So it's not like we're negating the investment he's already done. So I like it. I like it.
Agreed. I love your focus. I have to say that.
Yes.
You're not spending Zetas unnecessarily. You're focusing on particular characters and bringing them up now, it looks like. Looks like maybe at the beginning you were trying to get a bunch to Gear 8 and Gear 9, and you stopped that now and you're focusing, which is perfect. All right. So the next thing, Gear 12 pieces. Which characters should get the Gear 12 plus pieces?
Arena.
Yeah. I mean, the only ones I'm really giving are the characters that I really require to have speed,
Thrawn.
which are Nihilus, Scion, Thrawn, Nest. And then Treya, once you get her to 7-star, you'll want to put it on her. But I mean, I'm saving the rest. Nobody else really needs the Gear 12 plus pieces right now.
Nah. Not at the moment. So that answers that one. It's an easy one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next one, Sith Raid. Are there any phases which I can compete? If not, which one should I focus on getting ready for? So let's take a look at all of your resistance, because you have Jedi Training
His
Rey.
resistance is fine. He can compete in phase 1. If he puts the Zetas on Night Sisters, he can compete in phase 4. And it looks like he has the pieces for Chex Mix with Han, CLS, Death Trooper.
His POW is 7-star Gear 4, level 34. So get your POW to level 85, Gear 8. That's it. Chirrut is there.
10. Yeah, just get him to 11, and then you're good for phase 3.
Yeah, Chirrut to 11, POW to Gear 8, level 85. You're good in phase 3.
And then phase 2, you can go with the Sith team. Just go in there and kick ass with that.
And get that Zeta on Hermit Yoda.
Yeah. If you can get Hermit Yoda,
and gear him up.
If you put Hermit Yoda in there with the 4 Sith, you can just sit there and keep annihilating the snot out of Mr. Scion, and that'll be a really solid team for you as well. So you can definitely compete. Yeah, you definitely can compete. You've got really 4.
Now I know you. Teams. I know the guild that he's in, so I know that you have a large variance in your GP and stuff. So you're not necessarily competing for rank 1. But you'll be competing. You'll be getting good amount of damage. With that squad grande, where do you think he would normally fit? Because just eyeballing it, it looks like he'd probably be like a top 30, maybe pushing top 20 if he does all his attacks.
I mean, you can do one attack. You could do one attack in our. You can do 100. You do 1 million damage in our guild, and you're in the top 40. You probably do 2 million damage. So he runs 2 or 3 teams. He's probably into the top 15.
There you go.
That's kind of my gut feel. That on a great day, he might even get top 10.
All right then. Well, there you go. So yeah, you are definitely able to compete then.
All right. What's next?
All right. So next is the farming strategies with solo, Jedi, bounty hunters. With the Jedi meaning KOTOR.
It's not a strategy. Pick a team. Finish your 9 Sisters. Okay, so you need to stay on target here because you're kind of all over the place. From what I'm seeing. If you want to work on an old team and a new team and an old priest and a young priest, but if you're going to work on, so
you're essentially missing a lot of the key teams, right? So we talk a lot about the newest things, and this is a good question that I love when people ask it. So there's always the distinction between kind of what we're talking about in order to give people information versus whether or not you should do it. And part of it is that you need to first farm all of the essential teams that you need in game. You don't want to be guessing at a character and then have wasted resources on characters that you don't need. Bounty hunters, for example, are a really good faction. And so working on bounty hunters was never really an issue. There's so many uses for bounty hunters in the game. With your current situation, would we recommend to you that you start farming KOTOR for a potential character coming at the end of this month or November? Hell no! The KOTOR characters are not all that good. You can run Bastila.
Yeah,
if you want to work on Bastila, that's perfectly fine. Zalbar is a really late game use in territory war.
I mean,
primarily.
let's just be real. He's got too many other squads. I mean, if I was going to recommendation is, you have some solid stuff with the heroic Sith. So let's start working. You know, I always focus people first on getting these legendary characters, which you've done, right? You've got the pieces, but you're missing one because Chewbacca is now part of that mix. So it's time to go in on bounty hunters. You know, let's start farming them. Let's start getting them ready. You may not, I mean, if you don't get Chewie this time, get them ready for next time, because you don't know if Chewie's going to be associated with having to get for another version of Luke down the line. So we want to start doing that. You know, when we first look at a roster, especially if it's a younger roster and newer, it's like you're going to have to farm these characters first in these groups because you have to unlock all the legendaries. It's just that simple. Because there are these characters, JTR, BB-8, R2-D2, CLS, Thrawn, Emperor Palpatine, Chewbacca. They are really dynamic characters that really diversify your roster. Plus, it helps you when you focus on a farm for those characters. It focuses you on a team that you can now have a good, solid team that you can use in other phases of the game. So there is method to our madness, why we say that. So I would say finish gearing up your Night Sisters. Let's start farming those bounty hunters and get them squared away next. You know, and all you need is a Zeta on Bosk. But let's get Bosk needs to be a part of your hard node farm.
Yeah, and then you have a lot of characters that you need to work on for gear. And so, again, work on Kenobi, work on Hermit Yoda. Those would be, I think, your top 2 gearing priorities so that you can start running through that. And yeah, then afterwards you can start focusing on other, but you're missing a lot of what I would call essential teams, which are teams that have a lot of versatility.
Right. Bounty
Bounty Hunters is now one of those, like Ranger mentioned. Kenobi and Hermit Yoda are just really versatile characters, so you want to have them so you can kind of plug and play them. You can focus on Bastila in order to get a Jedi team. That would get you that team. Then First Order is one potentially you want to focus on, because First Order is a really versatile team. You have Rebels, you have a Sith team, you have a Jedi training Rey resistance team. You can potentially work on a Finn resistance team if you really wanted to. It does require a lot of mods and stuff to really get going at this time, and especially with the guild that you're in, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. You're going to need a really, really fast Poe and all of that, but it's still a good team. It's lost some of its values with the autoing of Galactic War, to be honest. And so it's up to you if you want to work on that. But once you kind of finish those teams right now, then I would say you're in a position where you can be like, okay, should I work on KOTOR characters now? Because right now you don't want to waste any of your resources on non-essential characters while you still have a lot of essential characters to work on.
Science.
You stayed on target so far. Continue to stay on target.
Stay on target. Almost there. Just a little further.
I think we answered his next question. Is are there any characters I should finish off before farming the character just stated above? Yeah, we just mentioned that. If you miss out on Chewie the first time, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
No.
If you miss out on whatever's coming up next with the KOTOR character,
that's right. It'll come back around. You know, but let's get what we know is in the game that we can work on to make your roster better than trying to focus on something we have no idea what's going to happen.
Right.
You know, so that's our recommendation. All right. Anything else, Dr. Finn?
Yep. So the next thing is
Jesus Christ.
He gave a very detailed list about what he wants.
Damn, you make him pay some Monopoly money for this shit. I'm kidding.
Just a hug in the chat is enough for me. Okay. So the next thing is crystal spending. Should he do it on gear or refreshes? If refreshes, how many crystals a day? Don't spend it on gear.
No.
No.
Hard nodes.
No.
Hard nodes in any cantina farms you have. You could go to 3. I mean, where you're finishing for arena, I could say 1 or 2. I would say 250 refreshes on your energy for your regular energy.
Oh yeah.
And
we're always doing the 50s. We're always doing the 50s on
I mean, if you can, you're looking, you want to spend. For me, my way of doing it is 250 total a day. I do 3 of the regular regular energy ones, and then I do 100 for the Cantina one for my farm. So that's how you can kind of play it. 250 crystals a day.
Yeah, I mean, don't you get 75 crystals just in doing your dailies?
Yeah, between your Galactic War, you get 25, and then your dailies gives you like 50 something. So in total, you get about 75 from that.
Yeah,
plus
75 and 100, and stuff like that, and then so that's
and then arena, fleet, territory wars, dailies. Like you can get all these other random sources of coins too, but arena, fleet, and your Galactic War plus dailies are going to be your most.
And if you're not making enough to do 250, then just do 250s of the regular refresh, and then do just 1 refresh of your Cantina energy, so you can still get that extra energy to help speed up your Cantina farming.
I would do, yeah. I mean, if you've got any left over, without a doubt, I would do the 1 Cantina on a focus Cantina. I think we get enough mod energy now that between slicing and looking for mods. And I'd probably recommend that he not do all slicing, right? He probably does a little slicing and a little farming.
Yeah, you could alternate.
He might just want more farming for a little while, actually.
Yeah.
The only reason why I'm just saying hedge that, right? So you're hedging that by doing a little of one and a little of the other.
You could do that too.
The only thing is his mods right now. I don't know if you've looked at him. He doesn't have a depth of mods.
No, he does not.
So I don't know what he would be slicing.
225 means with 225 mods assigned, unless he's sitting there with 750 and he's max modded and we can't see him, it probably means he would do better to find a good A mod or a good B mod, level it up, and slice it with stuff he gets from the Sith raid mod materials that he gets from the raid.
Yeah. I mean, he might just want to farm mods for a while, try to get some of the mats from Sith Raid, level up some of the lower ones. But yeah, his biggest issue right now is just depth of mods, I think. He has some really good at the top end in order to basically put together an arena team, but then it's a major drop afterwards.
But I mean, if he procced, and the thing is, he could proc an A or a B mod that proc 10 or 15 speed, and then that's 1 less mod he has to move around for raid.
Exactly.
I mean, a 10 or 15 speed mod with an offense primary cross with crit damage, crit chance would do him a lot of good.
Agreed.
Science. Goddamn science. All right, next.
So the next thing is the guild store. Should he focus on gear, characters, or mod slicing? Oh, really quick. Just going back to the crystal spending. Just for reference, and this isn't a position where you're at, but just letting you know, there's only a few things in the actual crystal shipment store that's worth buying for crystals. It's the black eyeballs, the Mark III hollow projectors, and the Mark II back to gels. Those are the 3 main ones to buy from there. Everything else you want to just kind of hold.
Hold on, say it again because I think this is important.
The black eyeballs is the the Mark VIII. What are they called?
Yep.
I just call them black eyeball. Electro something.
It's the black eyeball that makes the half of a golden eyeball.
Correct.
The part you don't get from the challenges. Okay.
Correct.
The next thing that you think is good from there?
The Mark III hollow projectors, which are those shower drains.
They're the shower drains that you get a full one for 300 or 2 for 600.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
And then the other one is the Mark II back to gel.
Mark II back to gel is used for a ton of crap.
Mm-hmm.
And I would totally agree that a Mark II back to gel is not worth farming. Agreed.
And I think those are pretty much the only ones at your stage that I would recommend. There's some that have good value, but for you, I wouldn't use crystals on anything else. Mm-hmm. Not even close at this point.
And then guild store characters.
Real quick on if you went into ships nodes and if you're farming for Lando and the Millennium Falcon, you can skip buying Mark III hollow projectors for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that node drops them like candy.
Yeah.
But I think if you're missing characters and you have a ton of characters to get, until you've caught up on all your characters,
You gotta farm rarity. You gotta farm rarity first.
Yeah, you gotta get like the Guild Event Store. You gotta get Hermit Yoda and Wampa. I know it's tempting to buy gear out of there, but I went through the pain of doing both of them myself.
It's the same thing. I consider it like eating my vegetables. You got to eat your vegetables, which means you're farming everything that you can't farm somewhere else. So young Han, I can't get young Han anywhere else, which means I farm young Han until he's 7-star. I can't get Stark anywhere else. I can't get Special Forces TIE Fighter pilot or his ship anywhere else, which means I farm all those things. I can't get Dengar anywhere else, or Jin Urso, or pick whatever it is. I get it from there, and I farmed it exclusively stuff I couldn't get somewhere else until I had it done, and then I went back to gear.
Good man. He's saying he's only going for Wampa now with his Guild Event Store. Good man.
Yes.
All right.
And then I think we answered it last one, which is mods to slice. I mean, the ones you would slice are the ones that have the most rolls on speed. So you want to go with your purples, work down, figure out which one. It's not necessarily purples, but sort it by speed and just start slicing up based on whichever ones had the highest speed.
And I kind of went the other way around. I sliced a bunch of D mods that had procced speed twice because it was cheap.
Yeah.
And then once I got a bunch of C mods that had procced 14, 15, 16, then I was like, okay, now we'll proc those up to Bs. I kind of worked it a little bit differently. The one challenge to that is whenever you work that, you find one that works, and all of a sudden you look at it and you're slicing a mod to A that is really not that great. It's really not, for whatever reason. I mean, because you're just focused on speed.
All right. And if you have any more questions there, my friend Big Mac, then you know where to reach out to us. And by that, I mean Grande. And by Grande, I mean send him a message directly. I'm kidding. You can reach out to any of us.
He sends me messages directly a lot.
Okay,
so
good.
I think we're good there.
Okay. And if you would like a mod review, anybody out there watching this right now, just send your GG page to Dr. Finn. Make sure he responds, and we can add you to our queue to eventually get to your roster review and knock it out for you. So there you go.
Yes.
Alrighty then. Let us get to some questions.
The first question is from Sanely Red, and he wants to know if you guys have heard of the bug that allows Night Sister Zombie to completely break the Sith raid. Basically make the who you're going up against have 0 speed, along with Night Sister Zombie at 0 speed with the new rework.
I saw it for the first time this morning.
If you go to the Skype, I got a picture of it.
Yeah, I saw it. I think
the explanation, I was mentioning the same thing too. The explanation doesn't make sense, so I don't know what to make. It looks like it's a bug. It's not Night Sister. It's not. I mean, Night Sister Zombies. Probably
this is obviously not working as intended.
Yeah.
Well, but it also looks to me like it was. I mean, I didn't have that happen in a T7, and the player that had it happen was sitting in a T6. Mm-hmm. There's some strange stuff that happens in a T6 that are below heroic raid that doesn't happen in other stuff.
Like Jawa was viable in Phase 1.
Yeah. And do you guys remember when Maul could solo P2 on by himself?
Mm-hmm.
In below in a hat raid? I mean, so some strange things happen at T6 that won't happen anywhere else.
Yeah. So it's probably something that they'll fix, but it looks like it's a bug. At least the explanation makes it definitely sound like a bug and not something new as a result of Zombies rework. So I would just wait for them to fix it.
Joey, question: do you think the Night Sister Spirit login reward could be going towards a Maul, Savage, Dooku, Sidious rework?
We have an exclusive release coming at 2 p.m. today. If you watched the stream yesterday, you know what it is, but it's exclusive coming at 2 p.m.
October was when we got the release of the Night Sister rework, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it is the month of October.
Mhm.
So it's highly possible that October has become Night Sister month, just like February is Sith month. So we could get an extra character, or we could get something cool with Night Sisters. We could get a Night Brother finally. I mean, there's
Maybe they'll get Initiate to work properly.
You dork. I don't know if we're gonna get that or not, but you know, I mean, they've reworked her a couple of times, so she's, you know, I think they're done and they're moving on from Initiate personally. But we could get something cool.
Helenix, I have a guildie who will be unlocking Rey Jedi training this time around. He has 2 Zetas available and none on BB-8 and Rey Jedi training. He wants to do BB-8's roll with the punches. Which Rey Zeta should he do first?
The leader.
The leader.
The leader.
And roll with the punches.
Yeah,
Go with those two.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's right. Leader and roll with the punches.
Roll with the Jedi training Rey is useless without her Zeta lead. I'll just put it out there. So if you don't do Zeta lead on Jedi training Rey, just throw that team away. It's useless.
Yeah, the other Zetas are nice, but they're not necessary.
Mm-mm.
Makwa, question, I just 7-starred Wampa. Should I Zeta Wampa or put the second one on Chewie?
Neither.
What are our other choices on Zetas? There's probably a Zeta choice that's better than either one.
Wampa Zeta used to be better when he was being used in Arena for that short time period, right? Then the only reason you do that Zeta is just to try to make soloing heroic AAT a little bit better. His Zeta isn't game-changing on Wampa. And then Chewie's second one is very much an anti-Sith, anti-Nihilist Zeta. So if you really want to use him against Trey elites, then go ahead. But it's really not necessary. I just did it for fun, but I mean, I wouldn't recommend it for anyone.
Sith Gorilla, question regarding the login character. Night Sisters are on Dathomir. Maul is on Dathomir during the Solo movie. Could this mean Maul is the character to get with the Solo gang?
Yep. I was saying that before.
Yep.
B5, question, would you expect a April/May 2017 Arena Shard to have over 1,000 active players?
What do you mean by active?
What is this?
Yeah.
I mean, like, Shard has at least 1,000 people in there, whether they'd still
There's
be
10,000 in the Shard. So
There's-
getting
yeah,
1,000 active, like people that just do one attack and stuff, is that what you're talking about? Because that wouldn't surprise me. Now, if you're
the other thing too is 1,000 active people. And how you can find this out is by, I mean, how did you find this out? Did somebody go in there and put Ugnut or like Hermit Yoda lead in and see how far they dropped? Absolutely. You know, if somebody went in there and ran Hermit Yoda lead and freaking dropped all the way down, then absolutely that would work.
Also, you got to keep in mind when you get further down, you drop further back. So all it takes is like one loss and you get way far back.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't necessarily mean all of those people are active.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Flying Mock, question, I used the fleet lineup as prescribed by you guys yesterday for Fleet Battle Tier 5 Node E. I'm still getting destroyed before I can bring my 7-star Plo ship in. Do I need more gear for the crew?
Possibly, or the first thing you should be doing too is, if you're running that lineup, first thing you want to do is heal, right? And then so that you can try to get your Plo Koon in.
Agreed.
If it's not working after
AoE
that,
heal is your first.
Yeah, if it's not working after that, then it could be a gear check and stuff. You know, if your characters are dying that fast, then yeah, gear and mods could be the culprit. But try is your first move to heal. It puts the defense up on Biggs as well, and gives you a lot more survivability until you can get your Plo Koon in as your first reinforcement. Because you can't bring him in right off the bench, so your first move is heal. The next one is to bring the reinforcement of Plo Koon and then rock and roll from there.
And
It puts
definitely
the
don't
lotion
forget
on
the
the
importance
skin.
of mods.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget the importance of mods, especially if it's not a team that you use regularly. Make sure that your team has those 5-dot mods, even if they're gray or whatever
You're
it
opening,
is.
well, and you're opening, and if you have any 6 dots, throw your 6 dots on your characters that you're using in that battle. in your opening 3 or your fleet commander.
Paul Morgan, question: does Night Sisters? No, wait, no, we haven't done this one. Paul Morgan, question: does Night Sister Spirit mean we are getting a Night Sister rework / event? I don't know about a rework, but event possibly.
Yeah.
Paul Morgan, question: I joined Ouchie's guild. Any advice on how to be a good guildmate? Learn to speak Scottish.
And oh yeah, that's an automatic win for you there. No, let's just stick with the Scottish thing.
Jason Krulik, question: who is the priority to gear up between these for all game modes? JTR, CLS, R2, Chewie, or BB-8?
Yes.
CLS, then Ray.
I'd say
Then
JTR.
BB-8. R2.
I'd say JTR.
Probably not Chewie unless you have OG Han already done.
Yep.
Ski Trooper, question: if speed and HP stay roughly the same, would you go with a crit damage triangle on Scion with 3,972 offense, or an office triangle with 4,235 offense?
What were the numbers again?
Yeah.
3,972 and 4,235.
But what were the other stats?
One's offense and one's crit damage, I think.
Yes.
Did he say what his crit chance was?
No.
I need to know what the crit chance is in order to tell you whether to use offense or crit damage.
Agreed.
Ski Trooper, question: what is the Sith team in Phase 4 of Heroic Sith Raid?
What do we have left?
I use my Sith team in Phase 3 of the Heroic Sith Raid, not my Sith team in P4. Sith team in P3 is the Emperor Palpatine lead with Nihilus, Scion, Traya if you got her, and the 5th can be Vader, or the 5th could be Sith Assassin, or the 5th could be Hermit Yoda. That team will probably get to Enrage if you play it right. If you wanted to run your other Sith in P4, you can. Running Sith in P4 is a after everything is dead but Traya Sith team.
Darth Idiot says that his crit chance is 35%. In regards to the previous question for Ski Trooper.
Probably the offense then.
35% is offense now, especially now.
Yeah, I'd say it's the offense. If he can get that crit chance over like 50 or 60,
or over 9,000,
I think we'd be talking about crit damage.
I mean, the only other thing is if the rest of the team somehow gives him a crit chance buff, right?
Right. Agreed.
So, yeah, I mean, in a vacuum, 35% crit chance, offense. But if you have a team that's giving crit chance up or something like that, then you want to switch to crit damage.
Potentially, too, he has a team that's giving offense up. If he's running that team with Palpatine on the team is already giving offense up. So it's going to make that offense even hit harder when it's a non-crit. So you can't mod a character in a vacuum. Affinity is right. That's science, by the way. Affinity is right.
Rocket science.
Revenator, question: who is hyped for The Mandalorian?
Don't know enough about it.
The only thing that kind of concerns me is that in the text it says, after the stories of Jango and Boba Fett. Does Boba Fett just die in the Sarlacc pit, or what? You know, we know that in the Aftermath books, we know his armor at least got out of the Sarlacc, but we have no idea what happened to him.
Don't we know in the non-canon EU that somehow like Dengar pulled him out?
No,
That's not canon anymore.
It's not canon anymore, so it's, you know.
Oh yeah, in those books in the EU, like he was around well past 30 years after Emperor's back, and this is supposedly set in between, episode 7 and yes.
You know his armor. So you know his armor got out? How do we know his armor got out?
We know that from the Aftermath book.
Right. A new canon book. So we know that he survives, but we don't know anything else.
No, we know his armor survives. So the Sarlacc could have just spit back out the armor, is what you're saying.
Not quite what the Sarlacc does, Grande.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Helenix. Question, assuming a double Zeta Palplead, double Zeta Nihilus, Zeta Scion, and double Zeta Vader with Sith Trooper, all Gear 12, are they better in Phase 3 or Phase 2 of the Heroic Sith Triumvirate raid? I need to go back to hitting the raid harder. Also, I blame Finn.
Phase 2. I would say Phase 2. Because I think Chex Mix is your better option for Phase 3. And I do like the Sith in Phase 2. You can really just keep speed up Nihilus, and he can do just a ridiculous amount of damage at that gear level and stuff.
Mark Garrett, question, what is the secret road ahead dev interview thingy at 2 o'clock all about?
Right. Do you think we know? Big deal, do you know?
I have no idea.
We have our own exclusive at 2 o'clock. That's all I got to say.
They're going to announce Rangers getting 1 million credits. Alright.
And that's all the questions. Oh, Vigilant Sentinel just donated $2. It's canon that he survives.
Yeah, we know. But,
I hope you didn't kill anyone I know.
They all survive. Boba survives. Maul survives. They all survive.
yeah, we know Maul doesn't survive.
He becomes Mechano Maul.
He dies at the hands of Kenobi. That's canon, Finn.
He lives.
He did not live!
He lives.
Okay. Finn's just trolling. God.
There's no stopping him.
Yeah. Why don't you close this out there, Mr. Conspiracy Theorist?
Porg, baby. Porg.
Joyson, question, I'm currently running Bastila in Arena and doing okay, and I'm getting Treya today. Should I Zeta my Sith?
Yes.
I mean, you really only need to put the 2 Zetas on Trey. If you want to put the Zeta on Scion or the Zeta on Nihilus, it's fine, but both of them have downsides. Treya's 2 do not.
They're creamy.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I shouldn't say they do not. It's just not as bad. Treya's lead actually makes it worse. Like, that's why Emperor Palpatine lead is a counter to Treya lead because of her unique. But you need to dispel, so it makes sense. But yeah. I think, yeah.
All right, Electrofin, you're up.
I'm up for what?
Closing us out.
Oh.
Mr. I want to be Smarty Pants.
All right. So thank you all for joining us today. I am getting ready to go hang out with Mr. McVenom tomorrow. Or actually, tonight. So you all can have your own fun with Ranger on the Discord. So if you guys aren't on our Discord, go to the Discord link in the description. You all can keep Ranger company while I'm away. Because he's going to be sad. Yeah, he's going to be sad.
No, that's not true.
So make sure that Ranger doesn't cry too much, guys. Go on the Discord. Make sure you talk to him every so often. Make sure he's still there, not crying.
I can promise you that's not going to happen.
Good. That's why everyone is there, to make sure it doesn't happen.
Don't bother me with that nonsense, please.
So Thank you all for watching. Again, this is the RSG Lunch Hour. We do this during starting at noon Eastern Time for about an hour during your lunch hour to entertain you during the doldrums of the workday. We also have our Wednesday night stream, which we do at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday nights, and then Jedi Academy Saturday mornings at 10 a.m., which goes on for 2 hours, and we have a great group of panelists such as Warrior from Warrior Presents, T Money, and good old Maurice from Operation Metaverse, Jedi Master Adastra, Mike Hunt, and a bunch of others, and they answer your questions for 2 hours. So bring your questions Saturday morning and make sure you get those answered. Make sure you hit the subscribe and the bell so you guys can get notifications when we go live, as we do a lot of different live streams, not only with Galaxy of Heroes, but with other games. And yeah, I think that covers everything. We have a link in the description for the GoFundMe, as I believe, Ranger, you're breaking in and out, but you mentioned that at the beginning, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So we have the link to the GoFundMe here. So if you guys can help us with that, as we're trying to get to Orlando for the Run Disney event, where we'll be raising money for the American Cancer Society. So please join us and help us with that. Once we're done with the GoFundMe aspect of this, we're moving on to the fundraising for the American Cancer Society, which we have some big, big plans for. Big plans. So with that, for myself, Grande, Ranger, Sanely, and am I missing anybody else?
Mike.
I think and Mike. Mike has been so quiet. Say something, Mike.
Something.
There you go. You want to say goodbye to everyone, Mike?
Yeah, goodbye. Can I also just throw out a personal thanks?
Yeah.
To Docs of the Rock. They adopted my little York hunt. And today he unlocked CLS. He's got Hermit Yoda about to go 6-star, GK about to go 6-star, and also OG Han. And just a thank you for having me. And
just to clarify, you have two accounts. One is named Mike Hunt, and the other one is named York Hunt. Is that correct?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm glad the hunts are together.
Yes, okay. They are. Well, they're not in the same guild, but
but they have a similarity. Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think you can have Mike Hunt and York Hunt in the same one. It's just that's too much in one.
too many hunts.
It's too much hunting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god. And on that note, we're going to end the stream. So everybody have a great rest of your day, and we will holler at you later. Peace.